Check out this before, guys. When was the last time that you had a client come to you straight after getting their braids, having a crispy, expensive job done? Our mission is to make sure that we don't snag their braids. We need to make sure that we are precise with the work that we do, and that's why I start with this method here. If I have that half guard, not all the way closed, but one notch open, it will allow me to hold my clipper like a trimmer. To use that increased precision, I could put the tip of the blade right there where the hair splits from the braids that were just done. Now, my client wanted it really tight on the side, but if your client wants to leave a little bit more darkness, instead of just going one notch open, you can go two notches open, and you can do the same motion, and it'll keep that high level of precision, clear some space, and then you can follow up going against the grain to even it all out before you hit it with the taper. So whichever length you choose to go with, let's do this and create a good inch of space all the way around the head. Like I said, we just want to make sure that we are creating enough space so that way when we come in with our longer teeth guards, like the 1 or the 1.5 if you like it a little bit darker, that those long teeth will not feed up into and start snagging and messing with the braids that were just done. So let's start a discussion about this. I really want to know what your thoughts are on this. Is this something that you've thought of before? Is this something that you're willing to try? I'm really interested to hear your thoughts about that. Now in the back, it can be a little bit tedious, but this is even more reason to do this method, because if I go ahead and take the time to comb out the hair that was not picked up into the braid, with my fingers, I'll be able to pull up the braid, not yanking it up, right? Because obviously these are freshly done braids and you want to take care of them, but I'm just going to gently lift it up off the scalp so that way I can go in with this same method and cut right up to the parting. So now that I've created the space and I gave myself that border, now I can go in with my number 1 guard going against the grain, because now that I cleared that space, I don't have to worry about, is the teeth of the number 1 guard gonna slip in between some hairs and pull at the braids that he just got done. Really, this is just being extra considerate for your client if you can find a way to make this work in your system. So this gives me the space to go ahead and clear out. I can make sure that it blends in well, and you can see it blends in perfectly with that number 1 guard when we had that half guard with the notch just 1 notch open. And like I said, if you are gonna go a little bit darker, then I would suggest going about halfway open with that half guard, and it should blend just fine into a number 1.5 guard. Of course, it'll vary a little bit with different hair textures, how their hair reacts to it, so it's always safer to start a little bit more open and tighten it up as you go. Just in case if you're new to the channel and you don't already know, the discount code is Tito Cuts for the tools you see in the video today, including the Stylecraft Instinct X. We're gonna detail with the Stylecraft Precision Blade that now they have the mini blade, the one that reminds you of the, what was the name of that? The Andis Slimline back in the day, man. That was a good trimmer. But yeah, we'll be using those and the Tune 45 enhancement system, the gun, the color, the enhancement card by Sean. Discount code works for all of those tools. Comment down below which side of the taper method you like better, because on this side, I'm gonna leave the line right there at the very bottom, the bald line. Then I'm gonna open that lever and let's create a small area of blending that we can do. I've got my bald line there, and then I've got my clipper open right above that. So now in between, we'll do lever play as we work our way closer down and down and down, closer to that initial bald line. We will close the lever notch by notch as we work our way down. So this fading method is about setting a panel and blending it out, setting your next panel and blending it out. And once we're done doing as much blending work as we possibly can with the blade guard free, then since we cleared out the bulk with the number 1 guard closed, now all we have to do, let's think about that. If we cleared bulk with the 1 guard closed, and now we're detailing out here with no blade at all, what's in between that? This half guard. And this is the same half guard that we started this whole haircut with. So you can do a little bit of lever play, start with it closed and just use the corner to go ahead and start breaking through that panel you created with the no guard blade open. And a little bit of lever play in between there to get it all nice and blurry. Now stay tuned, because the next side we're gonna do with actually no guidelines. And I'm interested to know which one you like better, so let me know your thoughts. Now you can already see the braider went all the way down to his very edge, right behind his ears. So now my job to complement this haircut to the braids is to try to follow that natural curve. I want this all to flow together. So I'm not gonna try to push in his hairline too far to create a new hairline. I want it to flow with his style. Now here's my secret for fading without the guidelines at all. If you start all the way closed, that second notch right there that I did, I tried to find the sweet spot right in between notch 1 and notch 2. It did not fully click into the second notch. Doing that, trying to find the little halfway points in between the notches is actually my secret on how I go ahead and go through these blends, sometimes without any sort of guidelines, without panels. I've done all sorts of fading. I've done panels, I've done without panels, I've done freehand fading, I've done all of those. If you're interested in seeing any specific one, please let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys, like, sometimes, especially when the hair is already tight like this, you can jump straight into the blend. So I went ahead and knocked out that very bottom, starting all the way closed with my secret method of finding that halfway point between notch 1 and notch 2 on my way up. And then I did a little bit of detailing, and now that I'm done with that no guard, I've jumped back in with the half guard. So it's very similar to the other side, but sometimes you may want to try this. The truth is that when the hair is cut all the way down so tight, like with that number 1, man, you can barely even see that guideline that you put in with the no guard open. Sometimes it's not even worth putting it in, right? So everyone does have their preference. I know a lot of people that will stick to it and they will put their guidelines no matter how tight the hair is. So let me know what you believe. What do you feel works better for you? So now, in preparation for the lineup, I'm gonna take a neck strip with 99% alcohol, and I'm gonna do my best to give him basically a quick cleaning service. I'm gonna go ahead and remove all of the excess oil, the excess dirt. Sometimes, especially when they come fresh after their braid appointment, they still have extra hair product that's left on their scalp. So we have a braider here in our shop, and she explained to us that they use all sorts of products: avocado oil, argan oil, mousse, hair gel, all sorts of really thick product that can leave buildup on the skin. So using this alcohol and blasting them with a cool air, it's gonna just help remove that excess and clean them up, get them ready for trimmers, get them ready for enhancements. Now, here's the beautiful thing about the Tune 45 double-sided precision pack pencil. Since his skin tone is somewhere in the middle, he's not white skinned, he's not dark skinned, he's somewhere in the middle, so I can blend both sides. Check this out, guys. I can use the nude side and I can add a little bit of white in there. When I rub the tip of the trimmer blade in that on my glove, I can pick it up. I can pick up the color as I go. So for me, now hear me out and let me know your comments. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. I feel like sometimes men can be so insecure when it comes to, oh, I don't want people to think that I'm wearing makeup, or, you know, because they feel weird that we're drawing with a pencil on their scalp. This gives me a new approach to where, okay, you don't have to even think about feeling that way, because I'll be applying it directly to your skin through the trimmer blade. So it feels like a more normal, more natural experience. I'd really like to know your thoughts down below. Have you ever had a client that says, no, I don't want you drawing on me. No, I like my stuff more natural. You know, where does that really come from? Is it truly that they don't like the enhanced look? Or is it that they feel insecure? They feel like, oh, maybe you're putting makeup on me and I don't want to feel a type of way, right? So that's just something to think about. This has made the experience of enhancing clients a lot more natural flowing to me, and my clients really have appreciated the results. And you can just see, man, this edge is coming together super crispy. I love how using the pencil on this method. It'll save me a little bit of time for efficiency, and it helps me to never feel like I have to push a client back. I can keep their edge in a natural spot and make it look sharp. Always refer here. I'm at the very front of his head, and I made a reference. While I'm straight on ahead of him, I made a little mark there so I can make sure that I match up the two corners there for the C-cups. That's a super important piece also. I feel like sometimes using this pencil can help us leave reference points on the head, right? So I could be in the very front. All right, this spot here is what's going to match up the two corners, and I could just work. I can proceed confidently that the edges are even and that the edge is sharp. And of course, nothing changes with the safest approach on lining up the customer. You always start in the very middle and then work your way off to one side. So sometimes if I'm in the middle, I'll kind of wiggle left and right just to be able to set a nice straight foundation. But start in the middle, work your way off to the left, and then you'll work your way off to the right, going back and forth, just making sure that you're tweaking it, making sure that it's nice and crispy. Now the thing is too, you notice that he does have a very light area in the middle of his hairline. I'm not gonna let that influence me into pushing the rest of his hairline all the way up. And then he'll be looking at a crazy grow back. So I'd rather follow a more natural line and have him appreciate it with a little bit of enhancements, rather than him having a more crispy hairline today, and then over the next couple weeks before he comes back, then his hairline is growing back crazy with hella stubble all over his forehead. So these are sometimes the decisions that we have to make on the fly that separate us from the other barbers that they go to. Always go for the natural edge, nice even natural edge. It's very rare. If a client wants you to push them back, they will specify during the consultation. So now that we've gone through the process of making sure that his hairline is natural, crispy, not pushed back, the corners are even, now we can jump into the Tune 45 enhancement system. So we're going to be using the Sean Cuts hair color enhancement card, the clutch card. We're going to be using, also created by Beam, we'll be using the Beam Team XL cordless compressor and the no drip color. Now this is my go-to setup for enhancements because, number one, if you have a client that does not have allergy tests already done, then this is the safest bet, because this is actually the only legal color enhancement system. Other color enhancements, let's say if you use Kiss Express, Just for Men, some of those, and those are great colors themselves. However, they can cause allergic reactions. And if you have an allergic reaction, your barber did not do a patch test on you, it is possible to be held liable for that hospital bill. Thankfully, my client didn't send me the bill, but he did send me a selfie letting him know, bro, my skin swole up like crazy. I had to come to the ER. I have that selfie in my phone right now. So ever since that happened, that is when I decided to start using products that are actually legal to use on the skin. Most satisfying thing is seeing a happy smile on a client's face. School's over, summer started, but I think now we know what his style all next year is gonna be, man. The kid came out crispy. Thank you guys for watching, man. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for me. I'll see you in the next video.